it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
Welcome everyone to the show. I am your host, Don Vic. We're back with our final show of the night. I want to thank everybody who tuned in earlier for the prior show to this one and show my brother David Thompson support. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. So just waiting for my brother Tim Dills to pop up and we can start the show. We're just talking to my girl a few minutes ago, and she's amazing. She's something else, I'll tell you. You know, drives me nuts, but she's amazing. So for those of y'all that missed the show earlier, you guys can go onto my YouTube channel, The Don Vic Show. You can log into there and watch it, or you can go to my Facebook page and watch it as well. David Thompson was amazing actor and acting coach. So those of you looking for classes, let me know. I can connect you with my brother David Thompson, and you can get your classes. He's out of California. For those of you that are in Cali, let me know. We can get you in there. What's up, baby? Oh, my baby's in the building. What's up, mama? Sending kisses to my girl Hannah Banana. Love you, mama. She in the building. Central Massachusetts Paranormal Society. What's up? What's up? Thank you for logging in. Just waiting for my guest to pop up in here. Mr. Tim Dills, which is a researcher, Bigfoot researcher. Which had an encounter in 2008, and I want to know more about that because I know a lot of people really don't believe in Bigfoot, because they never had an encounter, and it's been a myth for so many years. But there has been people that had encounters with it, people that have seen it, people that have proof of a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it. And so, we want to bring it to light today here on the show and talk about, what encounters did Tim have? And since he's from North Carolina, a lot of sightings have been seen, people have seen a lot of sightings out in North Carolina, Georgia, places like that, deep in the woods, Canada, New Hampshire, even out here in New Hampshire, which is at the Maine, New Hampshire, which is at the border of Canada and Maine. A lot of sightings deep in the woods of Bigfoot. Love you too, mama. And so, we want to talk to Tim today and see what his experience was when he encountered Joe West. Hi, Joe. How you been? It's been a while. Thank you for logging in. Joe is amazing. Joe West is also a podcaster and a paranormal investigator as well. I ain't seen Joe in a while. Hey, Joe. So give me 1 second. Let me just let me see something. Let me see if Joe got the yes, he got it. So I'm excited to find out more about it. See, for me, I believe in everything. Right? I've always been a Bigfoot fan. Um, and with my good friend Susan Victoria, we've been planning on doing a little investigation ourselves out here in Boston, a place called Bridgewater. I didn't know Bridgewater had forest. And I believe she told me that there were some sightings out there. So maybe we can hit the town and maybe some ask some locals that live there if they ever seen any, you know, um, evidence of any Bigfoot in that area. And if so, who might know about it? Maybe they can point us to the right way. Maybe we can interview them and find out what their experience has been in Bridgewater. Maybe we can head some of those locations and see if we find something. You know, that would be great. I mean, that would be like a new chapter for me. You know, and what we got here? Thank you, Joe. You're amazing. Thank you for sharing it out. Fabulous. Um, and so Joe and his son live in North Carolina. They wanted me and Sean to go out there last year. They invited us out there because they got so many sightings of the Sasquatch out in North Carolina, and not just through them, but I've heard it through other people that they've have heard and seen had encounters with Bigfoot. Um, and it's been a mystery. We don't know where they're hiding, where they're coming from, but yet people see them. Okay. At all times of the day. Could be night, could be day, evening. You just got to be at the right place at the right time to be able to see these creatures, right? And so I want to be able to see one if I can, or at least, you know, um, get some type of proof that there is something out there that's not human, right? And so this is why we want to bring Tim Dills on here today, because he's had plenty of sightings with Bigfoot, him and his son, um, and kind of find out like how they move and what type of sounds they make. I know they have this type of odor to their body, and we can probably find that out too through Tim. And it's like the paranormal, on Bigfoot. It's like the paranormal. We always trying to find out more about it, um, and trying to figure things out, right? Um, so that's the amazing thing about Bigfoot and paranormal. Two different things, but people are always out trying to figure things out. And mystical creatures, yes, Mama, it is. It is. And so, me personally, for real, I will take my girlfriend with me, which is Yancy right here. I will take my girlfriend and use her for bait. Okay, I'll do her that favor. I'll take my girlfriend now, use her for bait, and see if we can catch a Sasquatch. Sorry, babe. But those are we got to make sacrifices sometime in your life. That'll be my sacrifice. I had to throw my girl under the bus. Sorry, babe. Wanda Figueroa, what's up? What's up? How are you? Thank you for logging in. How you been? How you been? Thank you for logging in. Appreciate you. Rhonda, my queen, how are you? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. May God bless you all. Yes, yes, yes. My girlfriend laughing, but she mad. Yeah, so that would be my sacrifice. I would, how to say we got to sacrifice things to make things happen. Well, that would be my sacrifice. I'll throw my girl under the bus. Okay, sorry, babe. I'm only kidding. So, that's the thing with Bigfoot. That so many people hear about it, so many people don't believe it. They say it's a myth. Some say it's not a myth, it's true. So right now, I'm stuck in the middle. I believe it, but not until I see it, right? Or at least get some type of proof that they do exist. Okay, I know, babe. I know. So it's like the paranormal. We want to know so many things about the paranormal world, and you guys, um, Joe West, and who else is up here that is a paranormal investigator? Well, Joe West, as for now that I see, um, it's a thing that you just don't know, right? You just don't know what you're going to encounter. You don't know what to expect when you're doing a paranormal investigation. Now, my girlfriend here, right? My girlfriend Yancy, which is here live, she had an experience, right? That happened to her out in Chicago. Um, which I'll let her explain sometime in the future, maybe here on my show or on one of you guys' shows. But it's an interesting story, what happened to her. I don't know why the ghost didn't take her ass. I mean, sorry, I didn't know why the ghost. I don't know why the ghost didn't take it. Do me a favor, take her for a ride, will you? And hi Tracy. How are you, Tracy Land? Amazing, another paranormal investigator. I'm telling you, all the energy is coming through right now. Can I feel it? Can I feel it? Yeah. Can I feel it? I can feel the energy right now. I'm trying to tell you. Wooza wooza, wooza wooza. So that's the exciting thing about the paranormal world. You just don't know what you're gonna encounter. And a lot of you guys go out and you do investigations, and some of you do get hit, some of you don't get hit, right? But the biggest question for me has always been like, why are these spirits still lingering after 20, 30, 40 years? And some of you said, because some of them don't got unfinished business, or some say, you know, they don't know they're dead. Um, you know, and so on and so on, which I can understand, right? But so Joe West says, I feel the same way as you do, the way as you do, but I work with a bunch of creatures so so what, Wes? You can't just stop there. You gotta finish what you're saying. You keep getting I know I keep getting in trouble around. I know. I'm just I don't know, troublemaker, I guess. No, what a kid. Stuck. Yeah, I'm stuck. Stuck. Oh, they get stuck in the middle, right? So that is the key question, right? That is what we all want to know. Investigators and even just people in general want to know what why are these spirits still stuck in the middle, right? Still stuck in this world. Not why haven't they crossed over? Because see, when we were born, right? and we talk to our parents, they never talk about what's in the middle. They always say you either go to heaven or you go to hell. They never say you're going to be stuck in the middle, as a ghost. That's never said. But through researching and you paranormal investigators, we know that spirits still linger after death. Why? Right? Because and I get it. You guys say you guys have your own opinion on why, and I can't speak on it because I'm not dead. So until I don't die, I don't know why we stuck in that middle, right? We can just assume that these are some of the things that some of the reasons why they're lingering because they have unfinished business. And see, we really don't know, right? Unless you're like talking directly to a spirit, and the spirit's telling you, "I'm stuck here because my car got a flat and I couldn't go to heaven," or I didn't know which light to follow. Unless you're talking to a direct spirit that's talking to you, letting you know what's going on that side, then everything that we think and we say is just, we're opinions, it does, and that's me just saying this, you know what I mean? I don't know because I'm not a paranormal investigator, I'm not a medium. I'm just saying, you know. Thanks, Rhonda. Keep throwing fire to the fire, Rhonda. So Wes says, I want to see Bigfoot myself to know. So I'm unsure about Bigfoot, but I work with dragons. Wait. She went, what? With dragons? Oh boy, fairies. Oh my God, Joe. Listen, Joe. Huh. You working with dragons? Oh my goodness. Oh no. We see nine from nine. Babe, you got to speak English. I don't know these formulas. I don't know these formulas. I'm not in class. I'm not doing any math classes where you're CF9 me, FR9 and like hello, English. You break it down mathematically like we doing math here. I don't understand my girl sometimes. Okay, so you talk to spirits all the time. Okay. So my question to you, Joseph, you talk to spirits all the time. Have you ever asked them that question? Why are they still lingering, in earth and not crossed over? Have you ever got an answer for that? Because that's the key. That's like a big major key to what we're doing or you guys are doing as investigators is trying to find out why are these spirits still here, and not there's thousands of spirits, I mean billions of spirits that are still lingering. So this is why I'm saying, is there a light, is there a heaven? Because why will God have all these millions and millions of people still lingering on earth? That's just my thing. And so I need answers. I need answers because it's just impossible for people to be lingering for 50 years, 60 years, and we're saying that they haven't crossed over because they haven't finished whatever they wanted to, whatever they started. Well, you've been dead for 70 years. So you telling me in 70 years you haven't got to finish what you wanted to finish to cross over? You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with it? So what's the real reason that we have all these spirits hanging around and not one has crossed over? do they got to meet Judgment Day? Okay, and if that's the case, we still got spirits from 100 years ago still lingering around. Haven't they got their Judgment Day yet? So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions. This is why I love the paranormal, because this this answers questions. I mean, there's questions that need to be answered. We come from past lives. Babe, I know you come from a past life. That's for sure. You need to see this. What? What do you need to see, babe? Let me know. Do I need to see something? Oh boy, that's exactly what I said. Oh boy. Babe, those formulas that you're using, I don't know what those formulas mean. Okay. Depot. All right. Okay, that's a good point. They didn't complete their purpose in life. So if they didn't complete their purpose in life, right? They're stuck in this world, right? They're still stuck here. What is it going to cost for them to complete their purpose here in life? Like they've been dead for 100 years. So are they going to stay in that circle? Are they going to eventually complete what their mission was and cross over? Like, that's what I want to know. Do these spirits that are still here on earth, that are still lingering, that are lost souls, or however you want to put it, are they going to be able to cross over? Right? Because in our minds as kids, when our parents say, when you die, you're going to heaven, you're going to see a light, whatever. I don't even know if the light's real, right? But they say you die, you cross over completely, you see God, God sits you down and gives you all your history of what you've done. And then if you was good enough, you make it to heaven. If you're not, you go to hell. Bam. Never spoke about what's in the middle, right? Never talk about spirits still here, why they still here, what do they got to accomplish to cross over. Like, those are the questions that I'm looking for. So you have asked and gotten answers. Some stay because they don't want to cross over. Sometimes it's because of family, or they are looking for some. Listen, I sit here. I don't mean to laugh, but after I'm dead, I ain't looking for nothing. I, I'm dead. I ain't looking for nothing. I'm gone. You feel me, Joe? I want my ticket straight to where I need to go to. I don't want to be lingering. I ain't lost nothing. I ain't looking for nothing. Okay. But I get it. and to cross over, why wouldn't they want to cross over? I mean, that's what crossing over to see God or heaven. Like, who wouldn't want to cross over to see heaven? I don't want to stay here and see what I've been seeing for the past 55 years. I need to see something different. I just don't want to be lingering around here and keep seeing this, repeat the same things over and over. I need to cross over. Okay, because I'm at this time, I'm just tired of what the hell I've been going through and seeing in this planet. You know what I'm saying? So again, there's always questions to an answer. Waiting on rebirth. Well, why you gotta wait here and not go cross over and wait in heaven to be rebirthed and then sent down? You know, this is what I'm trying to figure out. Why would you want to stay lingering in this planet as a spirit to wait to be rebirth when you can cross over, go to heaven? You know, if that's where your destination is, and then God send you back and you be rebirth. Rhonda agrees with you, Joe. They don't want to go. I don't understand it. Like that's what's been, that's what we're taught as kids is to want to go to heaven, not stay lingering as a spirit on earth. Like I've never heard that, in my lifetime, that no one wants to go to heaven. I want to go. I want to go. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely want to go. Okay, I do not want to stay lingering around here for a fact. Okay, that's for sure, Nancy. Family members have not released them. Well, my family member needs to release me because I'll be kicking and biting and be like, I'll be showing up. I'll be showing up and showing out at the crib. Be like, y'all need to let me the hell go. I need to cross over because these spirits here, they're all screwed up. Okay. Okay, so Rhonda, they need to let me go. I know you was born with your gifts, babe. So, folks, for those of you that don't know who Yancy Roman is, that's my girlfriend, and she is like a medium. She was born with a gift, and I want her to come up and do a show because she's had experiences as a kid, I believe, and she has an amazing story that she told me, and I would like the people to hear it. Um, so she's gifted as well. Especially Nancy, that was good. I like that one, Nancy, especially hanging around me. I tell you, boy. Nancy, you ain't right. Baby, just say ditto. Ditto. Tipo, don't say tipo, baby. Ditto. Ditto. Rebirth. Well, this is what I'm saying. We all have our own opinions of things, right? This is where we're having this debate here. Because we trying to figure things out. Okay. I hear that too. Nancy, some of them don't know they're dead. But see, I would know I'm dead because when I go kiss my girlfriend and I see she ain't paying attention and she's not acknowledging me, then I have to know that something's wrong. You have to know that you're not alive. You're walking through walls. You're not sleeping. You have to be acknowledged. You have to acknowledge that. Because spirits are smart. You know, Catholic. When a life is taken, they don't own they dead, they died, or they don't know they died. I'm sometimes my girlfriend be speaking Japanese, and I don't get it. Yes, Nancy. For real, Nancy. That's how I know. That's how I would know that I'm dead. When I be like, "Where's my phone?" and I'm dialing, and my hands are going through the phone, I'll be like, "What? Something ain't right here." Okay, I can't call my baby. So this is why I say, folks, that the paranormal is interesting because we're here going back and forth with different answers and questions. You know that it's just us going back and forth. I mean, like, I don't know. I've never been there to see it to actually say, this is what goes on with these spirits because I've been there. I haven't been there, so I don't know, right, what's going on. And I know you girls have your gifts and you see things, right? You see things, or you get messages, right? But that's just like Bigfoot, right? And I don't want to sound like I'm saying that you're not what you say you are, but realistically, it's like a myth, right? Because we haven't been there. Does Bigfoot exist? Some say yes, some say no. Well, the paranormal is tricky like that. You know that we're saying things, and people can question it. Is it true? Because some people are not gifted like you guys are, so they might say you bugging. You know, you ain't dead, so you don't know. So there has to be some solid proof, right, of what we are saying to the non-believers to say no, it is true because this and that. And it's hard to prove. That's why it's so difficult to prove the paranormal. Hold on, this might be Jill. Give me 1 second, because this was kind of good right now. I don't know what's up with Tim, but we're having we're having a good conversation here. Okay. Well, when we die, let's link up and see what he's covered. See, this is my girl. That's why I love her, because she has a sense of humor. That's something I would say. Ah, your purpose wasn't complete, right? So, okay, your purpose wasn't complete. So even if you and thousands of people go through that, babe. Thousands of people die without their purpose being complete. Thousands of people. So because of their purpose not being complete, they're not crossing over. I'm just trying to figure out why they're not crossing over. Because that's what you're supposed to do, is cross over, not stay lingering, you know, in a place where who knows, it's probably dark, and you got other bad spirits around. Who wants to stay around that? Even if my purpose wasn't completed, I would still want to cross over and speak to my God, and let him decide what my destiny will be. I wouldn't want to just linger around because I haven't completed my purpose. If I didn't complete my purpose, then I guess it's because it was meant to be. I was called before I had to do whatever I had to do. I was needed. So let me cross over and find out what my purposes are. So let's say Joe says, when I talk to spirits and they said they didn't want to cross over. I felt it was because they liked being here, seeing family, and they may not be done fulfilling a purpose. Okay, I get that. But I'm sure these people have people that already died that probably there's probably families on the other side that they crossed over, that they can see. And I get what you're saying. Maybe they got kids, or parents or some that they don't want to leave behind. I get that, you know. Um, but I just don't know that God gives them that choice to stay behind, you know, when they need to be judged, if that makes sense, you know, because that's what we was born to believe, that when we die, we go see God to be judged, So now we got thousands of people lingering, in this world that died 100 years ago and haven't been judged by God because they want to stay here because they won't want to cross over. So what happens then? Like, what happens to these people? Rhonda, you're something else, Rhonda. I'm trying to tell you. My sister. I'm trying to tell you. Rhonda, let me see your ID. Make sure you got the yellow stamp, or you cannot walk in. Rhonda, I need your passport. I need your ID before you come through the gates. Okay. Oh, Rhonda, you're something else. Ditto. Yeah, I love you too, baby. Rhonda, that was good. That was good. I like that one. That was really good. Okay, so Nancy says, I would hate to be a spirit and not know that I am dead, wandering around, and all the other spirits are thinking what in oblivious dork you are because they don't have to know. Ah, well, so you better cross over. I'm trying to tell you, when when you come to that point in your life, wherever you see that light, to the left, to the right, to the center, just make sure you cross that. You cross that, okay? Cross that line. I don't want to see. I don't want to die 10 years later and be like, Nancy, why are you still here? You're gonna walk out to me talking about Don Vic. I'm gonna be like, who are you? Nancy, what are you still doing here? You died like 10 years ago. Oh no, we're not doing that, Nancy. Those are the one that stayed. Hmm. Okay, babe, but there's thousands of them that stayed. That's what I'm saying. There's thousands of them that stay. There shouldn't be nobody. There shouldn't be no spirits hanging around. Every spirit should cross over, get their judgment day, and then either stay in heaven or go wherever else that God sends them. There shouldn't be no spirits hanging around. That's what I'm saying. Okay, there shouldn't be no middle. There shouldn't be heaven, hell, and then the middle where spirits are. You know, that's what I'm saying. Right. When a door size, it's a new one. Yeah, yeah. We know that, right? Is it that maybe that God is running out of space? in heaven. I don't know. He's running out his face, and he got them hanging down here, waiting for their turn. Like I don't know. I'm not. I haven't been there, so I don't know. Yeah. Well, I don't know if these people are going to the light because they still in the dark, babe. These spirits are still in the dark. I don't know if the light came for them. And this is what I'm saying. You're saying that, right? We still living. We don't. I don't know that, right? Right? Because you're saying when it's time to go, you're going to the light. How do we know there's a light? I don't know this. I never been there to know there's a light. We were told that when we were little, we became to believe that there's a light. I don't know. I never been there. I know some people that died and came back to life said they saw a light, but that light could have been the doctor flashing in their face, or the light from the ceiling that they saw. Like you know what I mean? Like, well, we all have different beliefs. I believe it's our choice. I work with Hades, and so he may want me to stay here may stay here, or he may want me to help him in the underworld. Okay, I get that. I get that, Wes. Okay, I'll be like, why am I supposed to be somewhere? Yeah, like it's very hard. This is a very hard topic, ladies and gentlemen, because you know none of you are wrong, right? Okay, so Tim texted me. He said he's coming as fast as he can. I'm gonna try to hold on and wait for him to see if he logs in. But we'll have this conversation while he comes in because this is very interesting. Um, babe, you keep saying no, no what? It don't work like that. No, don't call me right now. Don't disturb me right now, okay? I know my girl. I'm telling you, my girl. She gets into this, and it's like, it's like a rally. I'm telling you, boy, it's like a rally. Now, if I was a shit all my life, I may pass on the whole crossover thing. Okay, folks, this was a great chat. I'm telling this was great. We're gonna keep this going a little later on another topic because I got my good friend Tim Dills just popped up here. He's sweating a storm. Looks like he was running like a marathon to get on the show. Poor Tim. All right, but we have him here, folks. My good friend Tim Dills, researcher, Bigfoot research, and I'm gonna bring him on here so we can talk to him and find out exactly what's going on. So please welcome my good friend Tim Dills to the show, folks. Tim.
Hey, buddy boy, I am sorry. I owe you and all your listeners an apology. I I had set a
No, it's
reminder on my
fine.
phone, and for some reason I did not get it. And I come in, and we had actually come in from town, and I picked my phone up, and I seen because I'd left my phone at the house. And I come home and I said, "Oh Lord, I forgot I was supposed to be on Victor's tonight."
It happens. It happens,
But
Tim. It happens. So it happens.
but other than that, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I was just talking to my viewers about the paranormal, how it's just kind of, you know, similar to the Bigfoot. People think it's a myth, you know, And so people looking for the right answers to, to bring to the viewers and to the people that, hey, this does exist. This is real. Here's the proof. So it's very two different subjects that are very hard to prove. I would think that paranormal is a little harder than what you do as a researcher of Bigfoot, because there's sightings and there's actual proof to show that there is something out there, right?
Yes, sir.
For those that don't. So you are from North Carolina, right? Is it North Carolina?
Yes, sir. I'm from Western North Carolina, which is I'm close to the Tennessee, the Cherokee reservation, all of that. We are part of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, so we're right in the middle of everything.
Right. So this is my Tim. I want to introduce you to my girl, Yancy Roman.
Hello, nice to meet you.
And this is she's one of those non-believers, right?
Hey, Miss
She's like, Bigfoot ain't no Bigfoot. But I said, well, tune in on the show and listen to my brother Tim. He had encounters and he's a researcher of that, and he lives in North Carolina. She's from Georgia, actually. So I said, you in back of the woods too, girl.
Oh yeah. I've actually had encounters in Georgia. Because where I live at, we're North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, all of it comes to a point. And I can be in South Carolina in 30 minutes. I can be in Georgia in 20 minutes. And I can be in Tennessee, and you got to go a little slower over there because they don't want you flying across through the national park. But I can be in Tennessee in 30, 45 minutes. So I'm actually right in the center hub of everything.
Right. So let's get into the Bigfoot stuff. So
okay.
what actually made you become a researcher? What did you see something? Did you encounter something that you say, man, I got to investigate this. I got to be a part of this to bring out, some truth to this?
Yes, sir. Well, to be honest with you, my wife will get the phone. Sorry about that.
Okay, don't worry about it.
My dad had him and his buddies in the county where I live at right now, was in the woods deer hunting, and in December, snow on the ground, and this was back in the 70s, and they come walking back out to their Jeep, and I'm talking 6-8 miles back. It's not like right on the side of the road. They were way back in the woods, and they get to walking back to their Jeep, and they see where they find some footprints. And my daddy's buddy's big old fella. He's probably, he passed away now, but he was probably 6'4", 6'5", wore like a 14 shoe. And the track, he put his boot and everything inside the track, and they was track all the way around it. So they was like, well, what idiot, because we didn't think nothing about Bigfoot back then. It was,
right.
it, especially around here. I figured if there ever was such a creature, it would be in the Pacific Northwest, or like the abominable snowman or something like that, but not around here. And but they had encountered that track, and where they should have passed it that morning, Daddy said you could see where it stepped above the road and got a tree in between him and them, and it shuffled its feet around that tree as they walked by, because back then you had to get in the woods like 3 o'clock in the morning to get somewhere to hunt. So they was super early, and then it come back down in the road, walked by their vehicle, walked across the road, and went up into the woods on the other side. And they followed it, started up the hill on the other side, and all of a sudden they just looked at each other and almost simultaneously said, what are we doing following this? Because they thought it was somebody. They didn't didn't know nothing about Bigfoot. And they're like, why are we following this idiot? If he's out here walking around in the snow and the size of his track, he's got to be a big old boy. So let's just get out of here. And my dad actually wouldn't go back to that place for a long time. It shook him up just finding the track. Fast forward to 2008. I'm out here in my yard skinning out a deer, and this guy pulls up, and if any of you have ever heard of the Corbett brothers, they had a band. This is their daddy. He pulled up, talked real super fast. My name's News Corbett. I just moved in the house up here, buddy, and I see you like hunting fish, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Me and you'll get ready and go. And I'm trying to skin deer, not cut myself, and all of that stuff. And here in the mountains, we're pretty laid back. We don't get excited about stuff and all of that. So I'm like, yes, sir. Okay. All right. Whatever. And he takes off. And my wife comes up and said, who was that? I said, well, I got his name is Newsom Corbett. He likes to hunt and fish, and he'll see me in about 2 weeks. And true to his word, in about 2 weeks, he showed up at my house. He said, grab your stuff, let's go fishing. And I said, okay. And me and him become best friends. We probably spent every day together for the next, well, not every day, but 5 or 6 days a week together doing things, hunting, fishing. The house that he bought up above me was the one that they lived in, but his wife's family has 86 acres with a little cabin that's surrounded by a national forest behind the Forest Service gate here in the county. And he said, let's fix the cabin up and put out feeders. And they had one feeder that they had out and some trail cameras. They would come up from Florida maybe once or twice a year to stay at the cabin for the weekend and then head back and that kind of stuff. So it was hardly ever used. And he said, let's set the cabin up for us a place to hunt. And I'm like, man, I'm all for that. I ain't got to walk these mountains again. I've got 86 acres I can hunt on and not be bothered. So we started setting stuff up. And the first day of setting stuff up, he told me, he said, we've got to get even with my boys. And I said, what? And he said, my boys played a joke on me. They had taken a set of fallow deer horns out of the cabin and snuck it up in front of his camera around the tree and let it take a picture of the horns, but didn't get them or nothing. So he's thinking there's this big old weird looking deer running around up here, and he's freaking out. And because back then you had the 35 millimeter cameras that's what the trail cameras were. So he goes and gets his pictures developed, and it's still deer season. And he's going, the very first one is that picture of those horns, and he starts freaking out. He's telling his wife they're in the middle of Walmart, get beanie weenies, get bang sausages, get crackers. I ain't coming out of my stand until I kill this thing. His wife said, did you look at the other pictures? I don't need to see no other pictures. I got all I need to know right here. Get your stuff. I'm getting in the woods. Let's go. And she finally got him to look at the next picture. Well, the very next picture was his boys and their friends standing there holding those horns in front of the camera. He said, so we've got to get even with them. And I said, okay, that ain't no problem, because I like cutting up and pulling jokes and stuff like that. I told him about the tracks that Daddy and them had found in the 70s. I said, I've got some boards there at the house. I said, I'll make us up a set of tracks, and we'll make it look like there's a Bigfoot up there. And he said, yeah. He said, we'll get them. So I took 18-inch decking boards, and I took and cut the toes out of them, took my Dremel tool and rounded the toes. I mean, I had it looking good. And we snuck up there early one morning while they had played a show the night before, so they probably didn't get in till like 2 or 3 in the morning. And we snuck up there and put tracks down and broke big limbs. Me and him would jump up and grab a hold of a limb that big, and our weight would break it and all that stuff, making it look like something had been up there. So he tells me, he said, well, they're going to call me when they wake up to come back up here, and we're going to go to the meadow and shoot the guns and that kind of stuff. And he said, we'll see what they do. And I said, well, I can't be here because I'll get tickled. I can't. I couldn't keep a straight face to save my life. So I told him, I said, I'll just stay at the house and yins do your own just thing. So they call him and they head up through there and they walk right by the track. Don't even see it. And he said, no, you boys ain't getting me again. And he's in the very back. And they said, what? He said, this track right here. Yins got me with the deer horns. Yins ain't getting me on this one. And they come back and they start freaking out. Dad, we didn't do that. That's a Bigfoot track. Look how big that thing is. Oh, my Lord, we've got to get cameras and get them in the woods. Do you know how much money we can make if we can prove that Bigfoot's real? And I mean, they're just hook, line, and sinker. Look where you broke this limb. Oh, look over here. And I mean, they're eating it up. And we never said a word. And they was actually going to cancel their show that night. And he told them, he said, and the guy said, you done give up, man, your word. And you're going to do the show. Forget about this. We'll take care of this after the show. So they go ahead and go to the show. Well, their dad's with them. I sneak back up there and get my boots that's got the boards on the bottom of them. And I throw chairs out in the yard. I throw clothes everywhere. I throw clothes on top of the house and all of that stuff. Well, about 2:30 in the morning, they come back in and they start freaking out because they see where I've done everything. And they called their dad 3 o'clock in the morning. Dad, Bigfoot's been back while we was at the show, and he's saying, in your face, all our stuff is thrown everywhere. And they were sleeping with shotguns and ARs and all of that stuff. And the bass player for him said, and I've not known your daddy that long. He said, but that sounds like something he would do. And so the next day they called and their mom answered the phone and said, Mom, is Daddy Bigfoot? And she said, here, you talk to him. So they found out that it was us that pulled the trick on them. Well, the crazy thing was he got a hold of me and said, there's a pig rooting up the yard. We got to get up there and kill it. And this was after we'd played the joke on them. And I said, okay. So I got my crossbow and we got up in the top room in the attic of the cabin, opened the window. Well, 3 raccoons come out and start running around and all of that stuff. They do that for about 10 or 15 minutes. And all of a sudden they take off and run back into the woods. And something grabs one of them and starts to kill it. And I don't know if you or your viewers know what it sounds like when a raccoon gets killed, but they make a racket. I mean, it's pitiful. And that coon starts squalling, and all of a sudden we just hear, whoa, and everything goes dead quiet. And then it starts whistling. And I tell my buddy, I said, buddy boy, I know all the animals we have in these woods. I've honestly, and I know a lot of people say it, but I honestly followed my dad in the woods when I was 6 years old. I would carry the shells for him, and if he killed something, I would carry that kind of stuff. And so I've been in the woods, and I have seen we do have black panthers, even though they don't want to admit it. We've got mountain lions, we got red wolves. I've seen all of that. And I told him, I said, but this ain't making no sense, because whatever that was grabbed that coon. Number one, jumped on a full-size grown coon. And number two, the roar that it makes, that's no animal that I know of. The bears don't roar, they huff, especially black bears. And I told him, I said, I don't know what this is. And we're sitting there talking about it. Well, then it starts whistling. And I told him, I said, I don't know. I said, something ain't right. I said, because it ain't a bird, because a bird can't roar like that. And a bird can't kill a full-size coon. I mean, even the big, well, now we have bald eagles. We didn't at the time, but at the time, the biggest thing we had would have been a red-tailed hawk or an owl. and neither one of those are going to jump on a full-grown coon. So we sit there, and it keeps whistling just every few seconds. And we decided, all right, well, hog's not coming out after whatever this is. So we turned the light on the lead. Well, when we turned the light on to go back downstairs, the whistling stopped. And so we just walk out and go on. Well, we come in the next day and we get yelled at. We're up filling up one of the feeders, and it was so loud your whole chest vibrated. I mean, you could feel it, just your whole body just vibrating. And when it first started, I honestly thought it was the Forest Service flying real, like treetop high, coming across the ridge.
Yeah.
It started, and then it got higher, and then it tapered off, and the whole thing probably lasted a good 30, 40 seconds. And when it tapered off, I could tell it wasn't but about 70 yards above us. And me and him both had like, buddy boy, we ain't got nothing but these little 22 pistols with snake shot in them for rattlesnakes and copperheads. That ain't going to take down whatever that was. So from that point on, we started getting yelled at. Things thrown at us. We would come in, and you'd have a tree limb that they had wrung out of a tree, out of a white oak. We had a limb about that big around. They carried the whole limb in and put across our trails. Anywhere where we went, we was having to take stuff out of our trails that they would carry in. And you could tell that it had to be something with hands, because there's no teeth marks, no claw marks. Bears and stuff don't do that kind of stuff. So we kept going, and I finally got a hold of the BFRO to come up and to check and see, because me and him, that's the only thing that we could come up with was it had to be a Bigfoot, because whatever was doing this had to have hands. I had one trail camera on the tree that I had the box made out of angle iron and 3-inch long lag bolts bolted into the tree, and it walked around and reached around the tree and pushed those lag bolts down to where that I couldn't get them off the tree. Stuff like that started happening, stuff that normal animals, bears, and that kind of stuff ain't going to do and can't do. They can't throw rocks at you. They can't throw sticks at you. That kind of stuff. So the BFRO come up and checked and said, yeah, I'd say most definitely you've got Bigfoots on the property. So up until then, we still wasn't doing research. We would take pictures on their phone, and show our families and stuff like that, because that's just stuff you didn't say around here, because people would think you're crazy. And
right.
And then I got a picture on my trail cam, and you can see it. You can see it leaning out from behind the tree. You can see its shoulder and its head and its other shoulder. And the best that we can figure, it was about 7.5 feet tall. And at this time, I'd still never seen one. I'd got pictures of them, like I said, on my trail camera. I've got one of one's leg where it's standing over my trail camera. Our trail cameras would have, especially around the feeders, they would have a sequence of pictures, everything working fine. And then you might have 2 or 3 pictures that are would come up corrupt file, or it would just be a blank screen. And we was throwing cameras away because we thought the cameras wasn't no good. So we set up a trap to catch some coyotes in to get them off the property. And a sequence of pictures that I have, there's a raccoon gets in that live trap that I built at 8:30 one night. And at 12:30, there's another coon walks between the trap and the camera, so it takes a picture. The one raccoon's still in the trap; it's been in there since. The other coon walks through, and then the very next picture, you see hair sticking out, like off the side of one's leg. And we found out what they're doing. They're standing so close to it that the picture won't register. And in the very same minute, that coon has gone out of that trap. But the way I built it, you had to have fingers to reach in and unlock it to open it up to get the animals out of it. And so within that same minute, they had to be two of them working together. And the one stood in front of the camera to block it, but thank the Lord, didn't get the whole thing blocked, and we got the hair off the side of its leg. So we found out that our cameras was good. It's just that they were smart enough to block them out. And so once we started getting that, we're like, yeah, there's definitely Bigfoots here. And there's a county here east of us, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away, having a Bigfoot festival. And they had posted, I'd actually seen it on the local news where they had found some tracks and stuff like that. So I got a hold of them. And these two guys got a hold of them and said, we seen where you had talked about what you'd encountered. And by then, I'd had hundreds of run-ins. And I had also heard them speak. They have a language. I set up on my buddy's property for 2 different evenings of the same week on Tuesday and Thursday, and heard them speaking just like me and you're talking. And up until then, I told my buddy, I said, I'll kill one. And when I kill it, that'll put the end of the debate right there. When it's dead on a slab, there's no denying that they're real. And then I heard them talking back and forth, just like we're talking. And I decided right then, if they're that intelligent, I don't need to kill one to make people believe that they can believe or not. That's up to them. But I'm not going to kill something that intelligent. And at the time, I didn't know it, but now I know that if I would have shot one, they probably would have been 3 or 4 more that would have got me. You know, you're talking about a creature weighs anywhere 800 to 1,000 pounds that you're going to try to get out of the woods while fending off 3 or 4 more of them. You ain't going to make it. And I also found out that even if you did get it out, the government would shut you up. There's been too many cases of that going on. But anyway, that's how it all got started. And in 2016, those guys, and their names is Bob Trent and Dwight Campbell. We have a YouTube page called Sasquatch Recon. And we started putting our stuff on there, and they are the ones that actually got me into doing the research and the collecting evidence, pictures. We've actually got, we've had 3 hair samples. We've got those right now at North Carolina State University getting tested. We've also sent some to Canada to be tested. The ones in Canada, it's the funniest thing. They'll say, we're not going to say that the creature is real, but our findings in your sample are what we think that it would need to be a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. So in other words, it is, but we're not going to say it is. You know what I mean? And so
yeah.
And the one difference in their hair is actually so tightly woven that a single hair is waterproof. It will not soak up water. So that gives them good insulation in winter and summer. And also, one hair may have 4 different colors in it. It may start out as black or red, and then it'll have a a translucent spot and then go to another color and then translucent and like that in a single hair. I think that's the reason that people, when they say they see them turn invisible or cloak or whatever, they're not really doing that. They're stepping back into the bushes, and that translucent in their hair is just like fishing line. When you drop fishing line, you can see your line out of the water, but as soon as you drop it in the water, it disappears. Well, I think that's what their hair does. Their hair soaks up everything around them that sort of makes them blend in so good that, you know, if you're not standing within a few feet of them, you're not going to see them. Even the show, I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not, but it's called Expedition Bigfoot. This woman,
I've heard of it.
She's got her thermal out, and she can look through the thermal and see it, but when she takes her thermal down, she can't see it. Well, that makes perfect sense of what it done. It just stepped back into the bushes to where it blended in, and
it camouflages itself.
Yeah. It does. It honestly does. And I have actually seen 4 of them so far. The closest one was within about 15 feet of me. I was going deer hunting, and I had my crossbow with me, and I'm walking up this ridge getting ready to get into an old road, and it comes out from behind a big oak tree, and it takes about 4 or 5 steps on 2 legs, and then it drops down to all 4s and takes off. And I have never seen nothing in my life as fast as what these creatures are. And it wasn't a bear. When I seen it, it was like a hyena. You know, their arms are longer than our arms are. They hang down almost to their knees. So when it took off on all 4s, the front end was jacked up, and the shorter legs was like a hyena when it took off.
Yeah.
And
wow.
So I've seen that one. Me and my buddy was walking into my research area, and had one follow us 1.5 miles in there and back out. Another one, we was at a place in Tennessee called Cove, and my buddy said, there's one just went behind this blowed up tree. And so we pulled off real quick and was watching it. And I've got thermal binoculars that will pick up a heat signature out to 1,800 yards. So a little over 1 mile. Wow. And this one was about 600 yards out, and you could see its elbow come out every once in a while, and its hand moving, and it moving around behind that stump. And this, in my truck I had at the time, I had Bigfoot stuff all over it and all that stuff. And this woman pulls up and says, have you ever seen any of them in here? And I said, ma'am, we're watching one right now. She took off. You couldn't have caught her with a mist. I mean, she was gone. And the very last one that I put actual eyes on that I can say 100%, I've got glimpses of them, but I mean, no doubt, there's not a doubt in my mind, I knew exactly what it was on December the 1st in 22. And I went to my research area, and in my research area, I have audio recorders that will record 24 hours a day for 2 weeks. And then in 2 weeks, I go in and change them out and change my trail cameras and all of that stuff. So I went into my area, and most of these areas, the way that I find them is I like to hunt evidently, and they like to hunt the same places I like to hunt. So when I find a good hunting area, it seems like that I have run-ins with them. But I went in and changed my stuff out, and it was getting that time of day to hunt that evening. And I thought, well, I'll just sit here in this old clear cut, and I'll sit here till it gets dark. And I looked at the bottom of the clear cut, and there's some big old horn trees that the deer had been horning on. And I thought, yeah, this is going to be good. And I'd been sitting there about an hour. I read my Bible on my phone, so I been reading about an hour, and I put that up. And when I quit listening, quit looking at my Bible and start listening, I get a feeling like I'm being watched. And I thought something's watching me. And I turned around and looked on a little old knoll at the wood line. There stands one, and I'd say it was probably pushing 8.5 foot tall. And I can see from its right shoulder, from right about here over, I can see every bit of it. And it's maybe 100 yards from me. And I got my phone out, and I just got an iPhone, and I was trying to get it to Zoom and all of that stuff, and I got aggravated with it. And I throwed my phone down, and I picked up my gun, and I was watching it. I was watching it because when you're hunting, you keep your eye on what you're looking at and bring your gun up to it. And as soon as I got my hand on my gun and started picking it up, it stepped behind the tree. And I'd been watching it.
They're smart.
Yeah. I'd probably been watching it for 15, 20 seconds before it done that. So I picked my gun up and I looked, and it wouldn't, I wanted it to peek out so I could get right here, look at its face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I don't want it to think I'm going to hurt it. So I put the gun back down on my lap, and it wouldn't move. And I just turned around and started watching it down my peripheral vision. And it went from standing up. When it went behind the tree, all I could see was its left shoulder. And it went from standing up, dropped down to all fours, and then it started army crawling like this back across the little old ridge and know that it come across. So once it started crawling away from me, then I picked my gun up and could see, but by then it wasn't looking at me. All I could see was its butt and its elbows and stuff like that. And it went back across the ridge.
Well, it's an amazing thing to know that these things exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so many people, would love to have that encounter, to see, to believe, and and it's just so hard to prove to people that, hey, this exists. Even by having a picture, they say, oh, that could have been someone else. They just don't want to believe. But I believe there is something out there. Where do you think they come from?
I honestly think they're just an undiscovered ape. I mean, I've not. Now, when you get into this, I mean, you're gonna hear some weird stories. People's going to tell you stuff, and I have no way of proving or disproving what they're saying, but I go by what I know, and I don't mean to be a jerk. I honestly don't, but I'm not a believer. I'm a knower. I have seen them. I've interacted with them. I know that they're real. And you're exactly right. There's actually people that have encounters, and they still won't admit that they had it, because a lot of times it does something to them. I've known grown men that used to hunt, fish, all that stuff. They have an encounter. They will not go in the woods no more. They sell everything they have because it traumatizes them. And it honestly seems like when it happens, you've got one of two groups. You either have the ones that want to know more, like I do, or you have the ones that do not want anything to do with it, and just stay out of the woods so that they don't have another encounter. This past Friday, I had a story related to me. This woman's wanting me to come and check their property out because their neighbor's daughter and her friend was in the woods and got chased out, and they won't go in the woods no more. And when they ride their horses in there, they'll get to a certain spot and the horse won't go no further. It no matter what you do, that horse will turn around and leave. So I've got to go check that out. But it honestly seems like it comes down to those two things. It don't seem to be a happy medium in between. It's either nothing to do with them or everything that I can.
Right. Right. It's amazing. I know that you had asked Sean and I to come out there to your place to,
Mhm.
come and investigate with you guys. I'm still on it with that,
Oh yeah.
and I would love to come out. I would love to come out. My girlfriend, she lives in North Carolina. I mean, she lives in Georgia.
Okay.
So she lives in Georgia. Maybe when I come to see her, I can link up with you guys from Georgia, and I think it'll
Yeah.
be closer. You think?
Oh, that'd be fine. Anytime, man. Is my house is your house. Anytime you want to come and visit, I'll be
Thank you.
standing here
Thank
with
you.
a cold Coke in my hand, and we'll sit and talk. Either that, or you'll
Hey,
step out of your rig into mine, and we'll hit the woods. Either one, it don't matter.
yeah, yeah. How's your son doing?
Oh, he's doing good. His book is right now. He's got it finished, and it should be coming out about any time. He's doing real good. He's not getting he's changed jobs, so the job he's got now, he's not able to get in the woods as much as what he. Well, he's like me. If we had our choice, we'd be in the woods every day. But grown
Right.
ups and responsibilities. I don't know who thought that up. That don't work too good. But
Yeah.
him and
How's
his
how's
kid.
how's your granddaughter? How's the
I,
baby?
oh, she's 2 now, or right getting ready to be
Really?
2. She'll be 2 in January.
Wow.
Oh Lord, she's. I know it's funny, but she is my daughter made over. Matthew's sister made over. I mean,
Wow.
they better get ready because they're gonna have their hands full. She is. When my first grandson was born, we told Matthew, uh, their names are Dayton is oldest, then Logan, and then Charlie. Her name's Charlotte, but we call her Charlie. When Dayton was
That's
born,
nice.
sweetest youngin', didn't know. I mean, didn't cry, nothing. And
Wow.
so we told Matthew, said, you better stop at 1. No, man, Shannon wants to have a baby, so they had Logan. He just a little bit wound up, and he's Papa's boy. And
Okay.
so Logan comes along. Yeah, I think we're going to have one more. And he said, surely this one will be between Logan and Dayton. Dayton's laid back, and Logan's like, come on, I ain't got time to rest. We got to go. And I said, yeah, but what if she's worse than both of them? Daddy, don't say that. And sure enough, she is the rounder of the bunch.
I'll tell you, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. Jesus Christ. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm gonna try to make it. I'm gonna make you that promise. I'm gonna make it there. I just don't know when, but once I'm close in Georgia, I'm gonna call you and say, Tim, I'm in Georgia. Come get me.
I can do it. You give me the address. I got the GPS on my truck. I can find you.
Yeah, you'll definitely, and we'll have a good time. You can meet my girlfriend. You can meet my girlfriend. Maybe we can feed her to Bigfoot and bring him out.
Well, now I do have up in the one area. There's a lady that started going with me, and we've got one up there. We named it Woody. You remember the old Woody Woodpecker cartoons? We've got one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it will follow us from the edge of a field up to the point where I saw the one that I was just telling you about, and it will make woodpecker sounds up to there. And you can actually go on YouTube and find a silverback gorilla making the same sounds. And you can tell, well, number one, the kind of woodpecker sounds that it makes. I've not seen any of those up there, and I've been hunting up there for years. So I'm 99.999% sure that it is one. So we named it Woody. So it may take you off with your girl just like it does with Rachel, and it may show out for us while it's up there. Who knows?
Right. Well, I want to thank you, Tim, for coming on and telling us your story. You know, you're always welcome here on the show. Tell your son I said hi and give the kids a big hug for me. And we'll definitely, once I come to Georgia, I'm definitely going to make that call. Probably bring my girlfriend too for that ride because she's into that,
Oh yeah,
into the Bigfoot and paranormal. She'll love it.
mm-hmm.
That way you can get to meet her and stuff as well. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank you for having me. And I do apologize again to you and your audience for being late. That I'm usually not, but I don't like that. That ain't the person I am. I don't like running late. If I give somebody my word, then that's my bond. And I should have been here earlier, but at least I did make it. So
that's right, Tim. Well, you have a good night, Tim, and I'll talk to you soon. Tell the family I said hello.
I sure will.
Hopefully, I see you.
That sounds good. And like I said, buddy boy, thank you again, and all you listeners, thank you for listening to me. I know
awesome.
I probably sound like I got a mouthful of snuff, but that's just the way we talk down here. So.
Yeah, I know. I tell my girlfriend all the time. I said, I got some country boys, girl. I got some country boys. Don't get it twisted. All right. See you later, Tim.
All right. Have a great evening, Victor.
All right, brother.
Bye-bye.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's my brother Tim Dills, all the way from North Carolina. Amazing guy, amazing story, and again, he's always invited me to come out there in North Carolina so I can do the investigation with him. He's had a lot of sightings, like he said. And I want to apologize too, because the noise, I don't know what's going on with the noise. It's not coming in through. I really apologize for that. That don't usually happen. It's probably where they're located, and he's definitely in the woods. So maybe the connection is not good, but I still want to thank you guys for tuning in, being great sports, supporting us. Big shout out to my girlfriend, Yancy. I love you. Big shout out to everyone that's tuning in. Facebook, YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in, and everyone in here that's tuned in today. We will continue our conversation with the paranormal because it was a great conversation. We had a lot of things going on here with believers and unbelievers and everyone that had a story. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time on the Don Big Show. I will be posting up who's coming next here on the show. So thank you so much. Have a great night. It's your boy Swag. I'm gonna let y'all go with peace, love, respect, and all the vibes. I'm out of here. Peace.